Friends always have each other's back, and Cheslin Marsh proved that. He bravely came forward to testify against the killers of his friend Hannah Cornelius, who lost her life due to her own kindness. The horrific story of Hannah is about how she offered to help her friend in the dark night, but didn't know how long that ride and night would end up being. Hannah Cornelius was born on February 12, 1996, in Stellenbosch, South Africa. She was the daughter of a professional couple. Her father, William Cornelius, was a magistrate, and her mother, Hannah Cornelius, was practicing law to become a lawyer. Hannah was her parents' only child until her brother came into the world 3 years later. Hannah proved to be a great sister and daughter. She was always helpful in every possible way. She had many hobbies, which included acting and playing the piano. Hannah was a smart child. She flourished through her school years. Apart from being kind, she was very hardworking and intelligent. It's safe to say that Hannah had a blissful teen life. She was popular and pretty, and on top of all that, she also had a high school sweetheart named Falone, with whom she made her prom memories. Hannah's life went on smoothly. She was studying for a bachelor's degree in humanities at the Stellenbosch University in 2015. She was excellent with her work and focused well on her studies. During her university days, Hannah was living at the Irene Ladies' residence that was close to her campus. However, she still needed a ride every day, so her grandmother gifted her a blue and white Volkswagen that she no longer drove. And it was because of this car that the police were able to uncover the horrors of that night. As kind and helpful as Hannah was, she even volunteered at a local animal sanctuary. Hannah was an easily approachable and social person. She never had trouble making friends, and only 2 years into her university, she met Cheslin, who was studying theology. Both Cheslin and Hannah shared many characteristics that made them good friends. Hannah would often help Cheslin in his studies. The two were great friends and nothing more. In 2017, after a long and stressful week of studies, Hannah and Cheslin decided to have a night out with their friends. It was just a usual night that you have with your friends, drinking and talking. It was not long before everyone realized how the early hours of Saturday morning replaced the late hours of Friday. So Hannah decided to end the night. Hannah prepared to go home, and Cheslin offered to walk her home as he was aware of the dangers in the streets of Stellenbosch at night. Hannah agreed, and they both made their way to her place. They arrived safely, but now Hannah was concerned about Cheslin going back home alone, so she offered to drive him as her car was parked in the parking lot. At first, Cheslin didn't agree as he didn't want to trouble her, but Hannah refused to accept no for an answer. And so, Cheslin gave up, and they both got into the car and drove to Cheslin's residence. Hannah and Cheslin arrived at his location at 3:23 a.m. on the 27th of May. Hannah parked her car and they both said their goodbyes for the night, but they didn't know what was waiting for them. At the time when the two were in Hannah's car, they didn't notice a group of 4 men walking past them, and the horrors that were about to unfold. These guys were up to no good. They slowly crept towards Hannah's car, maintaining their cover with the help of a truck. And then in no time, they pulled out a sharpened screwdriver and a flip knife and forced themselves into the car. One among the 4 guys, Nashville Julius, left the car after completing his role of targeting their next victim. He did not accompany them in the later upcoming tragedies. Vernon Whitboy and Gerard Parsons surrounded Hannah on either side, and Eben Van Nurkirk pinned Cheslin in the back. The 5 of them drove off in Hannah's vehicle. Fearful and shaken by what just happened, Hannah and Cheslin did not have any time to react or call someone for help. They did just as the 3 men told them to do, and so they began their long journey through hell. After they left, Hannah's car could be seen making a stop at a gas station, where they forced Cheslin into the trunk of the car and took away his shoes, jacket, and his wallet. Then Vernon Whitboy went into the store to where the ATM machine was. He made several attempts to drain the money but had no luck, as Cheslin seemed to have provided him with the wrong PIN. The 3 men didn't react to that at the moment and drove off to a neighboring town, Kryfontaine. There they made several stops at different places, mostly to pick up and drop off drugs. During this whole time, Hannah was in the car with the 3 men. She tried to remain as calm as possible while Cheslin was in the trunk. Around 5:30 a.m., the car stopped outside of Kryfontaine, which was said to be a short smoke break, but in reality, they had to clear some terms with Cheslin. 2 of the men got out of the car, went to the truck, and dragged Cheslin away from the car. The moment they told Cheslin to lay down, he realized that his time was running short. Without resisting, he did what they asked, and the last thing he saw was 2 guys standing in front of him with bricks in their hands before everything fell into darkness with a thud. The group left Cheslin there, and headed to an abandoned paintball field on Bottleary Road, where they assaulted Hannah. They then drove to a vineyard where they stabbed Hannah with a pointed screwdriver and then crushed her head with an 80-pound boulder. Hannah died on the spot and the three men fled, abandoning her body. The morning soon arrived and the three men calmly continued their journey as they thought they had put an end to both Hannah and Cheslin. But back where they left Cheslin supposedly dead, miraculously, he survived. A couple living in the outskirts of Cryfontaine noticed Cheslin, who was covered in blood and screaming for help. At first they were hesitant, as they thought he was part of some gang, but with persuasion by Cheslin, they called the police. Luckily, there was no impact on Cheslin's memory, and he explained everything to the police, the faces of the three men, the car, and where they went. He explained to the police how his friend Hannah was in danger, but it was too late, for Hannah was already found dead 2 hours prior to Cheslin gaining consciousness. Soon after, the police began searching for Hannah and Cheslin's attackers, and fortunately for them, not much time was spent looking for the car. The car had made various stops, and the three men didn't end their disgusting crimes. Even after killing Hannah, they kidnapped the woman and stole her money. After letting the lady go, Eben was dropped at his house by Vernon and Gerardo. Eben then left the two after taking his share of the stolen money. The police were on high alert and were looking for the car everywhere. They went undercover and soon they saw the missing car drive by. They chased the blue car, and as the two men knew they were being followed, they tried their best to run away from them. But when they entered the driveway of a private farm, they were blocked by a large blue security gate. They tried to make a run, but all their efforts were for naught as the police quickly got a hold of them. Upon their capture, Parsons and Whitboy gave the names of their partners without any hesitation, and they all got arrested. These men had no shame whatsoever. They were happy to kill two people. In May of 2018, all four men were brought into the court. These men could not deny their crimes because they had strong evidence against them. The security camera footage, the rock, testimonies, confessions from Gerardo and Vernon, and even the rock from which they killed Hannah. But most of all, their strongest evidence against them was Cheslin. Despite all the evidence, these men still pled not guilty. However, only two of the four made their misdeeds known. These men acted as if they didn't care about what they did, and they surely didn't because they were seen laughing and smiling during the trial. Their sentences were then announced. Vernon Whitboy, Gerardo Parsons, and Eben Van Nierkerk were all given life sentences. Nashville Julius, the fourth man who left that evening, received a 22-year sentence for assistance in robbery and kidnapping. Hannah's body brought both grief and pain to her friends and family. But with a friend like Cheslin, who in severe pain knew that his friend was in trouble, went to the last extent to give the murderers a taste of their own medicine. He stood by with the victim's family and even appeared in court to speak for his friend. Unfortunately, Hannah's mother, Anna, couldn't bear her daughter leaving so soon. And in March of 2018, Anna's dead body was found on the floating water of the South Atlantic Ocean, and William explained how this wasn't an accident. Anna took her own life. Thank you for watching True Crime Prime. Kindly subscribe to our channel and remember to like, share, and comment.